In our 7th year of marriage, my wife, a lawyer, once again used her firm as an excuse to back out of our promise to try for a child. Moments later, her young assistant posted a photo of my wife's prenatal report in the workgroup chat. He wrote, "Sarah, now that we have a baby on the way, shouldn't we be planning a wedding?" My wife's colleagues immediately blew up the chat, everyone expecting me to storm into the law firm and cause a scene. Instead, I just calmly typed back a single sentence. "You should. I wish you both the best." A second later, the report was deleted, and my wife called, her voice dripping with disgust. "Leo didn't know you were in the group chat. Did you have to humiliate him like that? How is he supposed to face his colleagues now? Besides," she continued, "we just got drunk and made a mistake. It's not like I intentionally cheated on you. So do you have to be so dramatic? Post an apology in the group chat right now, and I'll get Leo to forgive you. Otherwise, don't blame me for getting serious and filing for divorce." This was the 99th time she had utterly broken my heart. I didn't answer. I just hung up the phone and left the divorce papers I had prepared on the table. She didn't know that I had already quit my job. And as for me, I would never again hold on to any illusions about her. On our 7th wedding anniversary, I sat alone at the dining table, watching the candlelight cast flickering shadows across my wine glass. The steak and pasta I had carefully prepared were on the table, now completely cold. Sarah sent her 7th message. "A major client just came up. I really can't get away. Can we celebrate tomorrow instead?" I slowly typed a reply. "It's okay, work comes first." Before hitting send, I deleted the words "comes first." Suddenly, a notification from a group chat popped up at the top of my screen. It was the group chat for Sarah's law firm. I was in it as a spouse, but it was usually silent. Now, it showed over a dozen unread messages. I tapped it open, and my blood ran cold. It was a clear photo of a prenatal report, with the patient's name written plainly, Sarah Hayes. The person who posted it was her intern, a kid named Leo Vance, who had added a caption. "Sarah, now that we have a baby on the way, shouldn't we be planning a wedding?" He followed it with a playful emoji. The chat instantly erupted. Messages scrolled by in a blur. Some people posting question marks, others exclamation points, while a few of Sarah's closer colleagues tried to smooth things over, asking, "Did you post this to the wrong group?" My finger hovered over the screen as scenes from the last 7 years flashed before my eyes like a slideshow. There was Sarah accepting my proposal at her graduation. There was the guilty look on her face the first time she stood me up for work. Eventually, her excuses became a casual habit. Then, within the last year, I started noticing the scent of an unfamiliar men's cologne on her. I took a deep breath and calmly typed my reply. "You should. I wish you both the best." My message landed like a bomb, and the group chat went dead silent. 3 seconds later, the prenatal report was hastily deleted, but it was far too late. My phone rang immediately. It was Sarah. I answered, and her furious voice stabbed my eardrum. "Daniel, what was that? Leo just posted in the wrong chat by accident. He didn't know you were in it. Did you have to humiliate him like that?" I listened in silence, my heart feeling as if it were being squeezed by an invisible hand. Besides, Sarah's tone softened slightly, which only made her words cut deeper. "We just got drunk and made a mistake. It's not like I intentionally cheated on you. So do you have to be so dramatic?" Dramatic? I let out a silent, bitter laugh. "Post an apology in the group chat right now, and I'll get Leo to forgive you." Sarah's voice regained the imperious tone she used in the courtroom. "Otherwise, don't blame me for getting serious and filing for divorce." This was the 99th time she had utterly broken my heart. "Sarah," I said softly, my voice so calm it surprised even myself. "I've already signed the divorce papers. They're in the study." With that, I hung up the phone, pulled the documents I'd had ready for a month from a drawer, and placed them gently on the coffee table. I walked into the bedroom and began packing my things. My phone rang 3 more times, and I ignored every call. On the 4th, I simply turned it off. Outside, the city lights burned as brightly as ever. I stood before the floor-to-ceiling window, staring at my reflection in the glass. I saw the exhausted face of a 30-year-old man, the last flicker of hope in his eyes extinguishing like a candle flame, vanishing into an endless dark. I sat down at the computer in the study, the blue glow of the monitor illuminating my face. It was 3 in the morning, and the entire city was asleep, but my mind was painfully awake. My fingers tapped on the keyboard, pulling up the credit card statement from the past year. Sarah was always busy with work, so I was the one who handled these household matters. For 7 years, I had never scrutinized the charges, I just paid the bills. Now, the line items arranged themselves before my eyes like a row of sharp knives, slicing the facade of our marriage to shreds. A charge from the Ritz-Carlton for $300 on May 16th, 2023. That was the day Sarah said she was going to Chicago for a business trip. A charge from Hermes for a belt, $3,500, on July 8th, 2023. That was our anniversary, and she gave me a tie. A charge from the Waldorf Astoria on the Magnificent Mile for $500 on September 23rd, 2023. That was my birthday when she worked late until 3 in the morning. I opened my phone's photo gallery and found the pictures from her firm's party last year. Standing next to Sarah was Leo, and cinched around his waist was that very belt. The photo was dated July 10th, 2023. A knot of pain tightened in my stomach. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. When I opened them, my eyes landed on the picture frame in the corner of my desk. It was a photo from the summer of 2016, taken at Sarah's graduation ceremony. She was in her cap and gown, standing on her toes to kiss my cheek while I looked on, completely stunned, my ears burning red. Back then, Sarah was still that proud, bright-eyed girl from the law school. "Excuse me, you dropped your library card." Sarah had called out to me at the entrance to the library, her eyes full of sunlight. I took the card, thanked her, and turned to leave, but she stopped me. "Wait, you're Daniel Miller from the computer science department, right? I saw you compete in the hackathon. You were incredible." I was a little surprised. The star of the law school actually knew a tech guy, like me, who spent all his time buried in code. "Do you want to grab a coffee sometime?" Her directness caught me completely off guard. "I have an idea for a legal app, and I'd love to get your opinion on it." 3 months later, at that same coffee shop, we started dating. Sarah held my face in her hands and said, "Daniel, I love how dependable and grounded you are. You make me feel so safe." There was a crack in the frame's glass, something that happened when we moved last year. Sarah had said it was no big deal, but we never got around to replacing it. The computer screen went to sleep, and my reflection appeared on the black surface. I saw a man with bloodshot eyes and a scruffy beard. Was that really me? I woke the screen and continued to dig for more damning evidence. The iMessage recovery software finished its scan, and the conversation between Sarah and Leo materialized on the screen. "Sarah, are you coming over tonight? I bought those scented candles you like." "Of course. Just let me finish this meeting. Don't forget to send me the room number. Everyone at work loved that belt. They asked if my girlfriend gave it to me." "You silly boy. You're not my boyfriend. You're my husband." The last message was sent yesterday afternoon, right before Sarah told me she had to work late and couldn't make it home for our anniversary. My stomach churned, and I felt a wave of nausea. I closed my laptop, walked out onto the balcony, and lit a cigarette. It was a habit I had quit 3 years ago, but tonight I needed one. My phone vibrated. It was Mark Peterson, my old college roommate, who was now the CEO of a tech startup. "Daniel, you're up late," he said, his voice full of an energy that stood in stark contrast to my own exhaustion. "Yeah, dealing with something," I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. "Perfect timing. Listen, we just closed our series of funding, and we're desperate for an architect with your skills. I can offer you 50% more than what you're making now, plus equity. What do you say?" I stared out at the distant city lights and suddenly realized this was an opportunity. Ever since marrying Sarah, I had been running myself ragged between my job and our home, all to support her career ambitions. I had even quit all my bad habits so we could try to conceive. But in the end, in the iMessages between Sarah and Leo, I was just some useless loser. "I need a few days to take care of some personal things," I said. "No problem, but try to be quick. This position is highly sought after." Mark paused for a moment. "By the way, is Sarah okay with you switching jobs? I remember she wasn't keen on you leaving your old one." "I don't need her permission," I said, my voice turning cold. After hanging up, I went back to the study, compiled all the evidence, encrypted it, and saved it to the cloud. Then, I printed out a copy of the divorce agreement. As the paper slowly emerged from the printer, I heard the sound of the front door lock turning. It was 4 in the morning. Sarah was finally home. She pushed open the study door, reeking of alcohol and an unfamiliar